Well, hello. Today is Monday, September 6th, 2021. And yesterday, Sausage Sunday didn't happen because uh, something came up last minute and we were actually out of the house. By the time we came back, it was a little bit too late. Uh, Looked at the time and it was, well, past midnight. I figured, well, heck, it's Monday already. I might as well wait until when I get up and get things organized to do this. This might have been the first time ever that we missed a Soul Search Sunday. So, to keep in line with our uh, uh, weekday themed, following by the letter, Sausage Sunday, Music Monday, Tactical Tuesday, etc., etc. Today we have Mind Blowing Monday. Now, what is so mind blowing about Monday? Well, nothing really. It's been a very slow day. Not much going on. It's Labor Day long weekend, so it's technically a holiday, so not much going on here. But I remember there's a quote that uh, once blown my mind when I heard it. Not because it's something so new or incredible, but because it confirmed it it uh, falls in line with something that I have always kind of thought about, but never articulated it. I never would have said it this well. So the first time I heard this quote, it blew my mind. What quote is this? Uh, I don't know, I don't remember how it goes exactly word by word, but I will paraphrase it for you. This quote that blew my mind so long ago when I heard it goes something like this. More atrocities are committed by well-meaning, well-intentioned people than by evildoers. More atrocities are committed by well-meaning, well-intentioned people than evildoers. Now think about that for a second. When we look back in history, in human history, we often label someone as the villain, as the bad guy. Uh, Genocide, murders, atrocities, and that happened in our history. But when we really take a minute to look at the people that committed these atrocities, you will find that very, very, very few of them started out saying to themselves, I am evil. I am going to go mess up someone's day. I'm going to go kill off an entire race of these people because I like it. No. Most of the time, if we look back, look into the underlying motives of people who commit these atrocities. Now, I want to quickly say that this does not mean that I agree with them, but I'm saying that if you look into the underlying motives behind why they did what they did, a lot of time there was a noble intention. Communism, communist China, is one of such examples. Communism itself started out as a great, great idea. I mean, what can be so wrong with it, right? When you think about what communism basically said, everyone should be equal. Everyone should share all the resources. No one should be more important or more special than than the next person. There should be no authority. People should be the authority. Everyone should have equal authority. Yeah, I mean, all that sounds great, but when they carried out, trying to put this into practice, I quickly realized that it doesn't work. And in the process of forcing it to work, a lot of atrocities were committed, still being committed to this day. But I did not start this episode intending to talk about atrocities or communism or political views. I just use that as an example as why it's so true that more atrocities are usually committed by people with good intentions. This actually reflects to my own life, and I believe most of us have been victims of well-intentioned parents, well-intentioned teachers, well-intentioned friends, one time or another. Just think of that bumbling uh, uncle or cousin who's always so helpful, who's always rushing over to fix something that they think need fixing, and just end up breaking more stuff in your house, making things a lot worse. We all have those people in our family, right? I mean, I did, uh, yeah, and I think a lot of us probably do. When I was little, my main source of moral guidance was my nanny, Maru, who I've spoken at length about in past episode, who is more like a mother, non-biological mother to me. As much as I appreciate what Maru has taught me, had done for me, have instilled upon me, there are things uh, that are kind of messed up in my head because of her teaching. And these fall straight into the category of well-intentioned but poorly executed and ending up in unforeseen kind of negative results. One of these things was karma, the talk of karma. When I was little, I had a fondness for animals, just as I do now, and I always had pets, and I had all kinds of pets: goldfish, fighting fish, crayfish. Okay, that's not really a fish, but anyway. I had hermit crab, I had guinea pigs, I had rabbits, I had turtles, I had frogs, I had a rooster, and so on and so on. I had a lot of pets. Now, whether it be that the environment I was living in was not conducive in keeping pets, or maybe because I was not very knowledgeable in keeping these pets healthy, or maybe other factors. I say maybe there are other factors because I, like many other kids, I was mostly concerned with playing with my pets. I wasn't really uh, that eager in taking steps in feeding them or cleaning them or taking them to the vet. Those tedious stuff I left to the housemaid, to Maru, to my parents. And my job was to play with them. At least that was how I figured. So a lot of time, my pets would die. I mean, a lot of people say, well, that's what happened. They die. We all die. Well, yeah, but difference. There's a difference between uh, buying a turtle and this turtle live for 90 years and then dies, That's just it's getting old. Versus you're buying a turtle from the aquarium and 2 weeks later it's dead. You just get up in the morning and it's dead. That's very different. Okay, that's what happened to a lot of my pets. I just like woke up or came home from school and then I was informed that rabbit died, goldfish died, crayfish died, hermit crab died, and then I would get really sad, and then a couple of weeks later, I go out and get a new pet. Every time my pet died, Maru would carry on very elaborately, would do this Buddhist prayer, and she would uh, include in her prayer, please do not blame this child. He doesn't know what he's doing. He didn't mean to make these animals die. And every time I heard this, it just it stuck in my mind. I'm sure being religious and really believing in what she was doing, she had all the best intention in the world. She was trying to divert karma, bad karma, away from me. But by carrying on the way she did, to my child mind, I felt that she was telling me that I was guilty, that these animals died all because of me, that I was at fault. That's why bad karma would be coming my way, and well, that's why I should be so appreciative that she's trying to keep bad karma away from me by doing all these extra prayers. Uh, the intention was great. It was awesome, but for me, it every time a pet died, rather than explaining to me uh, the why things die and how things work, when she would do one of these Buddhist prayer, and then she would be really sad, and she would tell me you shouldn't get any more pets, you don't take good care of them, they keep dying, and I would feel more and more responsible. It got to the point where uh, when when I grew up, first started living on my own, I didn't want any animal. I didn't want any pet, even though I loved animals. But I felt so guilty. I had this, I had this baggage, this weight on my shoulder, like all these bad karma pressing down on me. That I felt that I, I didn't deserve pets. I didn't deserve to have animal companion. It's almost like I felt I was cursed. That any animal that came near me would die in a couple of weeks. It took me many, many, many years to work through that, to reason that out in my head, and to realize how ridiculous it was for me as a child to take that responsibility upon my shoulder when I wasn't even the one feeding the animal, when I wasn't even the one taking them to the vet. So, technically speaking, I wasn't really responsible for them being unwell, for them being dead. All I did was play with them. So, by practicing what she thought was right religiously, by practicing what she thought was saving me from bad karma, she unknowingly messed up my psyche and added many, many layers of unnecessary guilt in my psyche that took me years to work through. Another another thing that still plagues me today, and is sometimes a little bit of a contention between me uh, and my friend, and me and my girlfriend, me and other people, is the subject around wasting food. Like I mentioned before, some of you already know I grew up in a very wealthy family. So when was growing up, food was never an issue. There's always a lot of food. And of course, like many kids, there were some times when I didn't like the food. There were times when I couldn't finish the food. Every time these things happen, uh, I was strongly reminded of the poor, starving children in Africa, the homeless people out there on the street, the farmer and the people who work so hard to get this food to the table, and the animals that have to die and would have died for nothing if I didn't finish my hamburger. All that, all the way up to how people who don't finish their food end up getting bad karma, and they will get punished by the gods and get struck down by lightning when they go outside. Again and again, every time I couldn't finish my food, it's the same thing. And even there were times when I ate so much, or I just, well, rebelled and I threw up because I was forced to finish my food. I threw up. Maru, my dear nanny, would uh, patiently clean up the puke and then make a full new meal and force me to eat it. She would spoon feed it to me, one spoon at a time, until it was done, all the while reminding me of the poor starving children in Africa, of how they didn't have food when they were growing up, how she didn't have food when she was growing up, how it was so much work for her to prepare food, and it would be ungrateful if I didn't finish them. This, day in and day out, created a pet peeve in me that I feel physically angry, disturbed, unhappy when I throw food away, when I put food in the garbage, when I see or hear, when I know people throw food in the garbage. So many times, even though I'm full, I force myself to finish the food. Even when I'm full, I force myself to help other people finish their food if I know they're going to throw them away. I'm slowly working my way through this issue, but so far, I still feel very strongly whenever there's food being thrown away, whenever there's food being wasted. Uh, it's something that's going to take me quite a bit of time to work through. Like I said, it has created some argument between me and other people at times because people think I'm being unreasonable, being extreme. Uh, why, if you can't finish it, don't finish it. Why force the issue? But it is one of those things that just got drilled so deeply into my psyche as a child by a well-intentioned person. For most of my life, when I compete, and I have competed a lot, when I win trophies, medals, ribbons, I have been very much unable to feel any kind of joy. I almost feel ashamed when I compete and win. And this is another byproduct of the upbringing I had, where Maru and other people, this is a big thing in Chinese culture, by the way, you're not supposed to feel proud. You're supposed to be humble. When people tell you how great you are, you're supposed to tell them you're nothing, you suck. And this is a big thing in Chinese culture. So it's not just Maru, but because she was my moral guidance, I heard this mostly from her. Whenever I felt too happy about my achievement, she was there immediately to tell me, "You're being cocky, you're being arrogant. What, you think you're the greatest in the world now? Why are you so happy? Stop showing off. Stop showing off. You are going to bring bad karma, bad karma, bad karma. Everything was bad karma." Um, so growing up in that kind of uh, environment, I became very unable to feel good about uh, achieving and winning uh, and appreciate the rewards I get in the end. So you see, a very well meaning, very well intentioned person like Maru, one of the most wise, one of the most kind, the most motherly person I've known in the world, in this whole world, in my whole lifetime, has been able to mess up my psyche in so many ways with her well intentioned practices and words. So, next time, when we feel and we want to open our mouth to tell someone something, to tell someone to change, to admonish someone, to rebuke someone because of our good intentions, maybe it is wise of us to just keep our mouth shut because you never know. Maybe your good intention today is going to end up traumatizing or prejudice the person uh, for the rest of their life on a certain subject or topic. Maybe your well intentioned word today will end up making them feel bad about themselves for the rest of their life. Thank you for checking out this made up episode of Soul Search Sunday. I'll be back shortly with some Music Monday. For now, ciao.